Jeff Lauder coming home, so he was passed by Alex House out on course. He's going to do just on 40 minutes for his ride today. Another one of our top sprinters. He started the day in third place overall. He'll slip away as he comes in. Oh no, no, he didn't. In fact, no, House was in. Jeff Lauder wasn't passed by House, so they're in order of finish now. Hausler almost caught up with Jeff Lauder, and this will be a much better ride here. 38.04, 25th place for Heinrich Hausler. He's still very much in the race as well.
Well, you can see the pain that this time trial has dished out onto these riders just by the look on the face of Heinrich Hausler. He didn't ride this time trial to try and win it here this afternoon. He just wanted to get his body around it, but you've still got to hurt your body to make sure you get inside of the elimination time.
This is the last man to finish now as he climbs steadily up the road. The finish is literally above him. He'll make a sharp turn at the top of the climb. He's heading up towards the last kilometre. Peter Sagan, 36.39 he wanted. It's just passed by Paul on the clock. And all of the time now is losing time. And the yellow jersey tonight will be put onto the shoulders of the national time trial champion, Dave Zabriskie.
Well, this man has really entertained the crowds over the first 4 days, but it's a big ask to win the sprints with the explosive acceleration that he's got and then come out and ride an individual time trial. To put it into perspective, it's like getting a man who can win the 100 meters and asking him to ride the 10,000 to run in the 10,000 meters. It's a completely different kind of physiology.
Yeah, in fact, his time passed literally 1 mile from the finishing line. So every pedal rev now is costing him time in this race. I don't think he'd be too disappointed. I think in half-heartedly he will have expected this to happen. He's going to concede in the region of 2 minutes now to the time of Dave Zabriskie, which I think is pretty good when you're not a time trialist. He's going to be quicker than Chris Horner, for example.
Well, just to put it into perspective as well, there's elimination time on every individual stage. In the time trial, it's a much bigger percentage. It's actually 25%, and that correlates today to 9 minutes. And one rider was very, very lucky in my quick calculation there, because the rider from Team Argos Shimano, Alexander Juniez, he was 8 minutes and 14 seconds to Dave Zabriskie, so not too far behind him was the elimination gate closing down.
You're right, he's got in by about 45 seconds. He's the slowest rider, 8 minutes 14 seconds behind Dave Zabriskie, Alexander Junier. There's the turn onto the ramp as he runs up towards the line. He had to do 36.39. The time has marched on now for Peter Sagan, but boy, has he entertained us for this past 4 days of racing in this event. 4 different types of sprint finishes. It didn't make any difference. He was able to handle the sprinters every which way he wanted.
And let's not forget, Phil, at the end of the day, he might relinquish the yellow jersey, but he's still got the lead in the points classification, so he will be wearing one of the distinctive leaders jerseys when he goes into the mountains. He'll defend and nurture his body over the next 2 stages and hope to come out fighting when we finish on that magnificent, iconic stage from the Beverly Hills to finish right outside the LA Live, downtown Los Angeles.
Yes, it'll be interesting to see if Kelderman can hold him off and take the best young rider jersey off him. He had to finish in 36.39. He's now heading towards 3 minutes, the deficit, so he may just get inside the time of Chris Horner. But a wry smile on his face and a wave as well. Well done, Peter Sagan, as he comes up to the home straight now and rides in just inside 3 minutes behind. His time, 52nd place at 39.26 for Sagan.
Well, I have to say that was a great victory salute there. Well done. Congratulations for the first 4 days, and we'll wait now down to Los Angeles. Because now, as we look out over the oil fields, it's a different kind of rider, a different kind of beast who will take over the overall mantle as the top end of this race. Dave Zabriskie will climb onto the top step of the podium as he did 12 months ago in Solvang, and Jens Voigt will climb into 2nd place. Great ride by the 40-year-old, and TJ Van Garderen will be in 3rd.
The biggest factor is probably the heat, and then secondary is the wind, and maybe even thirdly, it's not much to look out there, so it's mentally a tough course, but that's the kind of course I like.
You were nearly quickest at the halfway point, and were the only rider that didn't slow down at all. Was that part of your strategy, or did you feel that strong at the last half of the bike race?
I mean, I came out here in February and videotaped this course, and I've been watching it quite a lot, and I had a few specific spots picked out where I wanted to go easy on the pedals but maintain speed. I know that sounds funny, but you can do it. And going into that turnaround was one of the spots that I picked out to get a big rest before I shot up out of there. So maybe that's why it was slow going in there. But the way back, definitely the wind was pretty in the face, and I just knew that I had to concentrate a lot and keep the speed.
Congratulations and best of luck for the rest of the Amgen Tour of California.
Thanks, Bob.
Well, as we look down there on the starting of Dave Zabriskie, it's just crackling over in the race radio that the new leader in the Best Young Rider classification will be Luke Durbridge with his good ride in the individual time trial. But nobody at all could rival the performance today of the specialist in the individual time trial, Dave Zabriskie of the United States. 6 times he's been champion in the individual time trial of his country. And here he added another victory to the one that he had last year. But the question mark now will be, can he defend this overall lead once we get into the big mountain passes? But to put in a performance like that, Phil, indicates to me he's got good form. He's got serious form. He'll be a tough man to dislodge.
Absolutely. And you know, Paul, he came out here in February with a video camera, and he videoed the whole race route, and he worked out where he felt he must put his pressure on and where he would sort of lower the turbo and just try and ride through the bad patches. He said the biggest mental problem was, in fact, the biggest mental problem he had was the fact that there was nothing to see there. He was riding in a desert. But he said then, you know, I like that sort of a course.
Well, it actually reflects his personality as well, because a lot of the other riders I'd noticed, Phil, before the start were warming up. They had headphones on, they were listening to music. Zabriskie had earplugs in, so he could not hear anything at all that was going on around, and he was completely getting himself into the zone, and that was the right mentality for this kind of individual time trial.
Let's face it, he's a little bit eccentric, isn't he? Even at the team presentation, he slipped underneath and he went on stage with the wrong team, and it wasn't a mistake. He stood up there on purpose to try and fool everybody, and then he came round again when his team was called, which was the next team. He's a character, to say the least. Dave Z, as they always call him. He is one of the characters of the sport, and now he's the new leader. He's won this, he's finished second 3 times in this race. I wonder if this is the year.
Well, that's what he's looking for, and watch out, because his team will defend him. If they think he's got a chance, they will take him right the way down to the end. That was a brilliant performance, and it was well timed, and as we saw, he was beaten to the halfway point by TJ Van Garderen. But this man has the experience. So when you think about the time trials that he's won throughout his career, he's won some magnificent time trials. He's also been a rider who's won a stage in the Tour de France, the Vuelta a España, and the Tour of Spain, Tour de France as well. He's been to this bike race and finished second in 2006 by 29 seconds. He was second in 2009 by 36 seconds. He was second in 2010 by 9 seconds to Michael Rogers. So maybe this is going to be the year of Dave Zabriskie as he moves up a little bit higher in the overall standings. Cross my fingers for him. He now has actually moved right down and lives just north of Los Angeles, so you could very much say he's a local boy to the Amgen Tour of California. Won the time trial last year and now climbs up onto the top step of the podium. And nice little smile there as he brings up his one of his 2 kids to enjoy the glory. Brings up both of his kids, in fact, to enjoy the glory of Daddy getting the overall leader's jersey. In his career, he's won 19 victories. The majority of those have nearly all been in the individual time trial. As I said, he is a great specialist. He turned professional way back in 1999 for the American Nutrifix squad before getting picked up by the US Postal Services for a number of years. And he also then started to ride exceptionally well in races like the Vuelta a España. He was 12th in the Olympic gold in the Olympic Games time trial in 2008. But he's been indomitable in the National Time Trial Championships. Won the stage of the Tour de France in 2005. But if he could just climb up the big mountains over the next couple of days, he will be an extremely happy man.